Hello, Paul Danko again. Just wanted to see if this makes sense to you. I was arrested for something I allegedly said by a guy who later said I didn't threaten him, and he said that under oath at another trial in front of a judge, which now I'm going to be tried again. So I guess you can be tried for the same thing twice. So much for the Constitution of the United States. Right? Anyways, this is going back to March 26, 2007. I was outside smoking a cigarette, and I was just transferred to the Croton Lake barn. The guys there I knew for a while, and they didn't want any part of it. They didn't want anything changing in their little world, and I don't blame them. And my management sending me there, that would be causing some animosity against me, and they knew something was going to happen, so there's another one they forced. That's just like when they threatened to arrest me when I said I was going back to Croton Falls after my 30 days at Port Jervis, and I was threatened with arrest if I did go back. So that forced me to go to. That was with the contract, the union contract and everything. I had the right to go back within 30 days without bid. Without bid is without request, without asking, without telling. You just go back, just like other employees have done in the past. You know who. Still not mentioning any names. Well, anyways, the person that was there happened to be the asthmatic, hypersensitive to smoke welder, as it says in the report that was given to me, as well as the finding of two other, one like superior guy and one was actually a helper. And it said Mr. Blank also offered to verbally apologize to Mr. Danko and shake his hand. I never heard that. That is a lie. Maybe they said that to them. Mr. Blank offered to write a letter of apology to Mr. Danko, which I advised would be a good idea. All right, I left the place, so there wouldn't be a fight or anything like that. Meanwhile, I was outside smoking a cigarette. He had a problem. I said, I know how bad it smells. I quit once, and it does smell, and I'm very self-conscious about how it smells when you smoke. And it stinks, and I know it. So I don't blow it in people's faces. And there was just, this guy wasn't going to let it stop until something happened, or I left, and he made it so I had to leave, or else there was going to be a confrontation, and I didn't want that. You know, I was avoiding that at all costs. So I went down to the gatehouse, and I sat the rest of the day there. Then, I can train of thought here. Hold on. All right. Anyway, there was no arrest made after this. Admitted threatening. You know, it was an admitted threatening of physical violence. No arrest, no disciplinary action, no psychological evaluation. My thoughts when this letter was offered. The letter was offered and I refused it. The letter of apology was offered and I refused it for the simple thing that this guy was going through a divorce. And he has kids. and going through a divorce. Divorces are lawyers pitting emotions against each other, and lawyers will use every advantage against either side to create more problems so they make more money. It's simple as that. Anybody who's been through it, they'll tell you the same thing. I hope everything's straight, and I hope everything calmed down for him, you know. So my thinking was, at the time, he's going through this divorce. If I take this letter, and knowing how this was going with all this retaliation up until this point, I said this letter is going to exist somewhere in some lawyer's hands to use against somebody or something. Just like a divorce, it's a battle, and it's ruthless with courts and lawyers. I didn't want it to exist, so I refused it. And what good does that do me? I know why he said that stuff. He didn't want me there, because I was the high profile guy. Management watched me all the time. Yeah, well, obviously, because there was no arrest. There was nothing. There was no disciplinary hearing. There was no charges brought up. And this is admitted. It's admitted stuff. It's in a report. Now bring you to the point with me. There was a guy who said something to his boss. It was hearsay that I said something that I threatened him, that later on admitted under oath that the guy never felt threatened. I was arrested. So think about this. Why? And the arrest was like 2 or 3 days later, after it was allegedly said. Now, they have this guy's admittance of a physical threat, right? No arrest. No disciplinary actions. Why did I get arrested? Oh yeah, that guy wasn't subpoenaed to go down and testify in front of grand jury in Foley Square 3 times. That's why. It's blatant retaliation for doing that.